Okay, disaster strikes. What's the very first thing you do? You grab your phone, right? But what if there's no signal? What if the internet's just gone? And the power is out? It's in those moments, when everything goes silent, that this kind of hidden network just springs to life. So today, we're going to talk about that lifeline, the volunteers who keep us all connected when everything, and I mean everything else fails.
Seriously, let's just make this real for a second. Imagine a huge earthquake hits, or a hurricane. Maybe just a massive blackout takes down the grid. You look at your phone, no service. The internet? Poof, it's just gone. How do you even call for help? How do you find out if your family is okay? It's a terrifying thought, isn't it?
And that's the scary part, right? Without our tech, our world just goes silent. We are so dependent on this stuff, this infrastructure that's, well, a lot more fragile than we think. And when that information stops flowing, that's a huge problem. Because in a crisis, information is literally everything. All right, so let's dig into that problem a little more. In those first few critical hours, why do the very systems we count on every single day just completely fail on us? Yeah, it's pretty much a domino effect. Think about it. The cell towers might not even be damaged, but they're instantly swamped by everyone trying to call at once. Overloaded. And the internet? Well, it often uses the same physical lines that are now vulnerable. No power means even the old school landlines are dead. But here's the most terrifying part. Even our first responders can lose contact with each other. They're left in the dark, totally unable to coordinate. And that's just chaos. But it's not all doom and gloom. It's not a hopeless situation. Because when all our usual systems fail, there's a backup. A more resilient system that's designed to kick in. And that is this Auxiliary Lifeline. Yep, and that lifeline has a name. It's called Auxiliary Communications, or just AUXCOM for short. So what is it? In a nutshell, it's a backup communication system run entirely by trained volunteers. These are the folks who can get a message out when literally nothing else can. They are the ultimate plan B for keeping a whole community talking. And look, this isn't just people randomly chatting on radios. AUXCOM has some super important goals. First, to create that tough, resilient backup network. Second, to help organize all the well-meaning volunteers who just show up wanting to help. And maybe most important of all, it acts like the nervous system of the whole operation. It's relaying critical info between the official agencies, the shelters, the hospitals, and us, the public. It really guides the entire response and recovery effort. So this whole system, it's powered by people. Who exactly are these amazing individuals who are keeping the lines of communication open when no one else can? Well, get this. The vast majority, a full 75%, are licensed amateur radio operators. You probably know them as hams. These are your classic, tech-savvy hobbyists who just love this stuff. They live and breathe radio. The other 25% comes from different radio services, and they all bring their own special skills to the table. And this part is what I find so incredible. These folks aren't just donating their time. They are bringing their own skills, their own expertise, and, get this, their own gear. We're talking thousands of dollars of their personal equipment that they bring out to serve the community. It's just a massive act of public service, plain and simple. Okay, so having the expensive radio and the passion to help is awesome, but it's not enough, not even close. In the middle of a high-stakes, chaotic emergency, being truly effective means you have to be trained for the completely unexpected. There's this quote that just nails it perfectly. You can have the best radio in the world, but if you don't know the right way to use it, the right procedures during a crisis, you're not helping. Your adrenaline is pumping, everything is confusing, and that's when your training just has to take over. It becomes muscle memory. That is the bedrock of a reliable response. And the cool thing is, the path to becoming one of these trusted operators is really clear. It's all laid out. Step 1 is getting those foundational skills, getting your ham radio license, understanding the basics. Then you move on to the core stuff, learning all the emergency protocols. And the final step, that's the official AUXCOM certification. And that is all about learning how to plug in and work seamlessly with the pros, the fire department, the police, the emergency managers. So, what does all this training actually do? What's the real-world difference? Well, let's put an untrained but, well-meaning volunteer side by side with a fully trained AUXCOM operator. The difference is, honestly, it's night and day. I mean, look at this. The difference is just huge. An untrained volunteer might jump on the radio and use the wrong lingo, accidentally clogging up the airwaves and just adding to the confusion. But a trained operator, they use clear, standardized language that everyone on the response team understands. The untrained person might actually make the chaos worse, while the trained one fits right in, working smoothly with officials because they get the command structure. They're part of the team, not some lone wolf trying to help on their own. So, at the end of the day, that's what training does. It takes someone who wants to help, a potential complication, and turns them into a guaranteed solution. It's all about building that trust and efficiency, so when they press that button to talk, you know they're making things better, not worse.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. When the lights go out, when the phones are dead, there's this incredible network of your neighbors, trained, dedicated people ready to step up. They're that auxiliary lifeline. So the real question for all of us is who's going to be there to keep your community connected when it all goes wrong?